We are live. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hopefully, this microphone's working. Awesome, thanks. Just gonna wait for a few more folks to join this very impromptu live stream. Wasn't sure I was gonna do a live stream this week, but figure what the hey, it's Friday. Um, I've got nothing better to do for a half hour, an hour, so let's do it. Hope everybody's doing well. I am actually back in Canada. I'm back in Canada, extremely jet lagged. The time zone stuff is pretty crazy. So the day before, I slept for 13 hours straight, which I haven't done in a very long time. And then yesterday, I couldn't fall asleep. It was like a tale of two worlds. I couldn't fall asleep. I ended up sleeping for maybe 4 hours last night. I think I finally fell asleep around 3 a.m. and then I woke up around 7 a.m. So yeah, it's been very interesting. But basically, this is the bedroom. This is the house that I grew up in. This is got some old posters of mine in the background here, like Star Wars CCG. I was really big into that game in the 90s. Oasis, and a Madonna poster. For some reason, I never took that stuff down. Um, Mic connection is a bit loose. Yeah, so I couldn't figure out a way to like set this up on the desk where it's how do I put it? I couldn't figure out a way to mount this somewhere where it makes sense. Maybe hold on, maybe I can figure a way to do that. Okay. As long as I don't move, as long as I keep this microphone super close to my mouth, I think we should be okay. And yeah, I'm gonna stop moving around. I was basically just trying to say that I am visiting my old folks' home that I grew up in. This is the bedroom that I actually lived most of my life in. So I'm now in China, but I am recently visiting Vancouver, Canada. So just decided to do a live stream from my old bedroom. And yeah, I don't know there's much to say about traveling back here, but coming back to Canada always feels pretty fun. I'm on the West Coast, so I'm in Vancouver, Canada. It's very close to Seattle. And Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to be back. It's actually snowing right now. Um, I think it's like -3 degrees Celsius, which is pretty cold for my standards. I mean, in Shanghai, where I came from, like, hasn't been that cold. Like, I've been going out for runs. I've been just yeah, it hasn't snowed yet, but it definitely started snowing yesterday here in Vancouver, and, it's good though. It's good to see family. It's good to, um it's good to do this live stream. Yeah, I just decided that instead of tweeting all the time, I think I'm just going to do a live stream whenever I feel like I have some thoughts to share. And that will also allow me to develop my thoughts a little bit more. And I don't know what the heck. I figured it's kind of fun. People are, um, I don't know. I mean, I'm not super coherent today, but I got my notes here, so hopefully we can just go through the things. And for those of you who are new to the stream, thank you for coming. This is like just a brand new thing I've decided to do. It's a little bit more personal than my interviews, which usually just involve the guest. But yeah, what? Okay, let's get started though. That was a lot of rambling. Let's get started, and we can kind of talk about some things that are on my mind recently. So first of all, I've decided to do a stream once a week. Maybe it will get more frequent as time goes on, but I want it to be just kind of a chatting webcam kind of thing as opposed to playing a game like Magic. I'm really big into Magic Online, really big into Magic Arena for drafts, but I figured it's more interesting than just kind of monologue because you can watch well, I mean, you can watch a lot of other people just talk to the camera and monologue as well, but I think that there's a lot of people out there that are already playing Magic Online, already playing Magic Arena, and I'm not a really good Magic player. Like I love playing Magic, but I don't know if people would actually enjoy getting something out of seeing me play Magic. Like if you feel otherwise, I'd be happy to try doing streams where I just play a game like Magic the Gathering and then talk about stuff as I'm playing. But I'm not sure the world needs another Legacy League run through by a guy named James, aka Humans of Magic, on a live stream. So I'm kind of okay just doing these monologues for now, and hopefully these monologues turn into reasonable clips that I can share with people later, just to share some of the thoughts I have, so that I'm not always posting on Twitter because Twitter is pretty Twitter/X is pretty insane. So I just want to use live streams to kind of just monologue, just talk about um, what I've been thinking, right? So I guess I'm going to keep the streams once a week. We're going to keep it chatting. Of course, I'll always take questions. So if you have any questions in the live chat, I'll definitely try to respond as best as I can. Okay, the next part, administrative. So I've enabled a couple of new things. So I played around with the YouTube settings, and it looks like I've enabled YouTube memberships. So going forward, if you join the YouTube membership, you can get chats, emojis here, like whatever. But you also I think most importantly, you get early access. You get early access to episodes when they come out. Now, this is essentially the same as the Patreon perks. So if you join the Humans of Magic Patreon, you will also get like early access to episodes 2 or 3 days before they come out. I've got one with Detsy that I finished editing. I will be uploading very, very soon. That was a really fun one because we actually recorded face to face. I think that's the first Humans of Magic I ever recorded face to face with somebody because Detsy, um, who's a brilliant streamer, by the way, he is one of the best. I would call him kind of the grandmaster of limited, but he was actually passing through Shanghai like a few weeks ago. And so we just decided that we decided to just record in my in my kitchen at my kitchen table. And so we did that recording. It was fun. The audio quality wasn't great because we just kind of put a speaker actually the speaker that he uses for his streams, like just put it on the table. We just recorded it. It sounded really bad. I fed it through this AI tool to clean up the audio. It still sounds pretty bad, to be honest. Like I released a clip um, yesterday, and I already got comments saying that the quality is really it's really not great. So it's not optimal, but I think the episode is still pretty listenable. And I think going forward, if I do more face-to-face interviews, I will certainly have a better equipment audio setup so that it sounds better. But anyways, that was a tangent. YouTube memberships are now live. If you haven't had the chance, please consider joining the Humans Magic Patreon, because that's basically my livelihood. That's how I get um, support from people. I mean, I love that you guys are watching Humans and Magic. We're listening to the audio podcast. The Patreon is just an optional thing that allows me to do this a little bit longer. It helps fund some of the things. Like, for example, I just got this new um, webcam here. It's finally not the webcam built in my computer. Like it's definitely a lot. It's definitely better. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the lighting isn't great, but it's definitely an upgrade. I'm gonna try to upgrade things like my microphone over time. Um, Actually, this leads to the next item here on the updates, right? So I think those of you who have tuned into the previous live streams, I've told you that I want to I want to try to travel to more Magic events this year. And I will definitely almost 100% be going to Magic Con Amsterdam in June. I got my creator pass approved by Wizards, so thank you, Wizards. I will be there. I will try to propose a panel for Humans of Magic for those who are there and want to tune in. But I think the big question is not Amsterdam, because that's happening in June. That's still pretty far away. But I think the question on my mind is MagicCon Chicago. MagicCon Chicago is next month, and right now I am seriously considering an Audible to go to MagicCon Chicago. I don't have anything planned. Like basically, I don't have flights, I don't have hotels. I didn't apply for the creator pass, so if I go, I'll just show up as a civilian with a regular normie pass. But I'm really thinking about going to Chicago. Um, I know there's going to be a ton of people there, a ton of artists, creators, Magic players. Oh, obviously Magic players, because there's a pro tour. But I think that's going to be really fun. And honestly, there's going to be a lot more people that I know going to Chicago than Amsterdam, I'm sure. As far as I know, there's 3 Magic cons that have been announced, right? There's Chicago, there's Amsterdam, and then there's Vegas, I think in October. So I definitely, actually, I tweeted about this a while back. I want to make sure that I go to at least 2 Magic cons this year, 2 of them. So if Amsterdam is locked in, I basically painted myself into a corner. I will have to either go to Chicago or Vegas, maybe both, in order to fulfill my goal. I think they're going to announce another Magic Con. Somebody told me on Twitter that there'll be a 4th one, but just based on the 3 that have been announced so far, yeah, I'm basically trying to talk myself into going to Chicago. Like, it's going to be pretty intense because I'll have gone back to China in about a few days from now, because I'm just visiting family here in Vancouver, Canada. Then I'll have to come back. Like, there'll be the Chinese New Year in February. And then basically I'll have to come back here and then just go to anyway, long story short, there's like some stuff in my schedule like right before coming back to the US and then right after Chicago. But I think it's probably going to be worth it, because for a show like, oh God, I'm really talking myself into it right now, like live on air. But I think it's going to be worth it. Like, there's going to be a lot of people there. Humans Magic has always been about the community, and because of the COVID situation and the pandemic, it hasn't been easy um, to meet up with people. Right? I was actually going to GPs and stuff before the pandemic, and at least I got to meet some players and creators back then. I remember meeting up with Anurag and a couple of people at TwitchCon like all those years ago. I think it would be good to kind of go back and do that. Yeah, yeah. There's going to be a lot of artists there. Some artists I've kept in touch with. I think it would be nice to, um, yeah, to do that. So yeah, if you guys are going to Chicago, let me know. Let me know somehow, like DM me or post here or just email me. Like we'll figure a way to meet up because I'm gonna be there. If I go, I'll be there as a civilian. I won't have my own booth. Nothing. I'm not that I'm a big creator or anything like that. I'm not trying to imply anything, but I think it'll be fun to just um, hang out with people. And I've never been to Chicago. I'm a big fan of. This is something I don't usually talk. Actually, I do talk about a little bit. Like I'm a big fan of the Chicago Bulls of the NBA. So if I go to Chicago, I think it would also be incredibly fun to catch a regular season game. One of my best friends is in Chicago. He used to live in China, and I think it'd be fun to catch up with him as well. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you're going or you want me to go. I have no idea. Like we'll figure it out. Yeah. Okay. I think okay. There's another update here, which is around um the new logo. Okay, so I've had the Humans of Magic logo for a while. This is the one that you see on the channel, the podcast, the one with the kind of red background, like the microphone and the Humans of Magic by James Hsu. I am in the midst of working with a very talented illustrator to come up with a new logo. I figured, hey, it's 2024, new year, new look. Let's do a new logo. I think it would be fun. I think it could be interesting to have a new concept. I think that more emphasizes what Humans Magic is about. Let me tell you, I don't want the logo's not done yet, so I don't want to reveal the illustrator or anything like that or the logo yet because it's still early stages. But let me just tell you, I had a call with the illustrator. Initially, the call was going to be 30 minutes. It turned into it turned into a Humans of Magic interview because I was so interested in the illustrator's background. Started asking him questions, and he started asking me stuff, and we ended up like 30 minutes turned to 90 minutes. But what's interesting about it is that he asked me to describe what Humans of Magic is about, and I tried to describe it to him, right? I tried to, and I realized that, my God, it's really complicated. Because I think on the surface level, Humans of Magic is really just about interviews, one-on-one interviews, conversations with people in the Magic community. That's kind of how it started. But I'm trying to push the show in a kind of new direction, kind of pushing it into a new angle, if you will. It's going to be a kind of gradual process, but I would like to have a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more like curation, a little bit more of a features aspect to it, which fundamentally still taps into what I want is that when I talk to anybody on Humans of Magic, I'm typically selecting from people that are very, very good at what they do. It could be playing Magic at the highest level. It could be creating content at a super high level. It could be being an amazing, extraordinary artist, a creative person in the world of Magic the Gathering. And my show from day one has always been about mindset, right? Whatever creative endeavor you're doing, maybe it happens to be about Magic. How do you bring out your how can I understand where you're coming from, your intention, your mindset, basically your why, and what's the passion that's driving you, that's fueling you to be the best you can be and to constantly be improving. So you can see that in the last 6 months or so, I've been really going hard on competitive Magic players, people who are in the Hall of Fame, people who were pros. They're not really any Magic pros anymore. I'm really interested, or I was really interested in the 90s, 2000s history of Magic. But I think the show also needs to branch out a little bit. Like it needs to explore mindset, but there needs to be a little bit more of a storytelling of it. So basically, this is all an excuse, like to tell you that this is kind of what I'm looking to do to evolve the show. I'm not 100% sure where exactly it's going to go, but I do know that when I worked on features for Humans of Magic, that was when I had the best times creatively. They may not have paid off the most in terms of views or impressions or metrics or what have you, but when I was working on features like Ukrainian magic or the business of magic or some other stories that I actually had to scrap because there wasn't enough there weren't enough people willing to talk on the record about stuff. So I don't want to put that in here because there's a lot of like unfinished stories that I've been working on that didn't quite pan out, and that's totally fine. But I think there needs to be like a now that I'm reasonably good at getting people to tell me stuff, I feel like I need to do a better job of curating it and putting it into something that's a little bit more listenable. And I'm highly aware that there's lots of people that want to get on the show. And there's also a problem of like people don't listen to episodes where they don't know the guest. So if I can start from some sort of general interest topic and then pull people into the narrative, I think that would work a lot better. Not just in terms of hashtag engagement or popularity and whatnot, or growth, as it were, but it would really help make it more interesting for me as well. Because I think fundamentally, I think a lot of creators say this, it's not a secret. You have to make stuff that you're really into yourself. You have to make stuff for yourself in a kind of reductive sense. And so I've been talking to a lot of people recently. Actually, I don't want to reveal that conversation, but I actually just had this week had a conversation with Sam with Ristic Studies, whom I admire, I respect greatly. We have a mutual appreciation for each other's work, and I think that conversation with Sam. I don't want to get into the details, but it sort of implied here, right? But it really kind of made me think about like how do I do things for the craft? How do I do things for the love of it, but also make it into like a really distilled product? Maybe not every interview needs to be 2.5 hours, right? Maybe we can take the best parts of different conversations with different threads with people and put them together into something that's easier to follow, easier to listen. I've done it before. It just takes more intentionality, planning, and time. That's totally fine because like if I enjoy it, that's what really matters. And maybe if I do one of these things and it's reasonably entertaining, like it's still something that would be worth revisiting 6 months, a year from now. So that's kind of the idea. Like I've been doing the podcast for so long that it's good to shake things up. It's good to figure out how do I challenge myself and stop myself from doing the same thing every week. So that is something that I will work on. But again, like I said this before in a previous live stream, like talk is cheap, right? It's all about execution. So don't take me by like what I'm saying right now. I think what I come up with in terms of the work will ultimately be a good indicator of whether that's working or not, whether I follow through with that or not. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, yeah, that was a really long update. So yeah, I'm changing up the got a new logo being designed. I'm probably going to MagicCon Chicago, and I'm gonna try to get more creative with Humans and Magic content. If you have any suggestions or any feedback, like what do you think has been working well for the episodes you've watched, what has not been working well, please definitely drop me a line. I love to get feedback on that. Okay, another update here is artist interviews. So I've been saying this for a while, but it's finally happening. I'm scheduling some interviews with magic artists because I think they have incredible stories. I think they have a lot of incredible underdog stories. And I think it's going to be fun just talking to um, like I said, it's about humans and magic is about exploring the mindset of people who are the best at what they do. And I think artists are some of the magic artists are some of the most talented people out there. And they're all coming from different backgrounds, walks of life, and they all have interesting stories. Like just based on watching um, other people do interviews with artists, I think it's a really um, I think there's still a lot to explore. Even though we've got, my man Sam, Ristic Studies doing a lot of that. We've got other channels doing that. I think there can be a way for me to put my own spin on artist interviews or deep conversations. I think that could be interesting. So that is definitely in the works. All right. I think that's pretty much it, man. Like, that's all I wanted to say. Like, I wanted to say that I want to do these streams once a week if I can. I'm probably going to stick to this monologue format because I don't think I would particularly enjoy playing Magic badly in front of not a lot of people, just a couple of viewers. And there's some exciting stuff in the works for Humans of Magic. I am also going to do my best to go to the Magic cons. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you guys have any feedback or any questions. I'm happy to answer if you do. Oh, hey, Cliffy, good to good to see you. I hope your poker stuff is doing well. Michael Clifford is one of my friends who's been grinding online poker, online and offline poker, but it's also been a very high level Magic player for a while. If you guys have a chance, definitely check out my interview with him from last year. All right, let me just read the chat here. Don't stream gameplay unless it's what you want to do. Yeah, I'd rather just play Magic badly offline and just not broadcast it to the world. It's funny because I recently played like Magic Arena for the first time in a very long time, and it was the first time I drafted LCI. And this kind of goes back to the conversation I had with Melissa DeTora because almost every because I just drafted LCI blind without actually knowing any cards from the set, so I had to read every single card that was opened in the packs, and I just timed out every pick because I just I just ran out of time. That there was too much text on the cards, and I just couldn't figure it out. And yeah, I mean, that's not exactly complexity, but it just speaks to Magic cards being incredibly wordy these days. I think Arena helps a lot because it helps take care of a lot of things. Sometimes I'm just playing a card and I don't even remember how the mechanic works, but the client just takes care of the work for you, like Explorer and all these kind of mechanics. So yeah, that's been um, that's been an interesting experience for sure. Um, Yeah, audio quality, that is definitely what I've been trying to do more with guests is typically I just make sure that they have good audio, and I'm going to do my best to just like use some sort of AI tool or something to clean up audio if it's particularly bad. I do know that audio matters a great deal. I've always been a stickler for that. So yeah, like if it was a one-off thing where Desi and I are recording in my kitchen table and the audio isn't great because we don't have great microphones, that's an exception. But I think for future face-to-face recordings, I will also um, try to improve on that. Yeah. Um, Too many draft resources from content creators. Yeah, that probably reminds me. I probably need to watch more of Betsy's content or like limited resources. Honestly, I hadn't played Arena for a long time, so is this focusing? All right, I hadn't played Arena for a really long time. So I just reinstalled it on a whim, thinking that I would just use some of the gems that I had. And I also wanted to try the Khans of Tarkir flashback draft. And it's crazy because when you don't play Arena for a whole year or maybe 2 years, and then you log back in, all the things that you missed just start popping up. So it took me like literally 10 minutes to get through all the you got this pack, you got this, you got that. Like it's been a whole year of announcements that I missed out on. Um, but I don't know, man. Like I played a few drafts on Magic Arena. It still felt like a video game, and I just went back to playing Magic Online. I just I just love Magic Online. I think it's more like real Magic, and it's the formats like Legacy that I enjoy. So all right, let's close the stream. It's been half an hour. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I think we're pretty much at a good point here. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Hope you have a great lunch hour or Friday afternoon, wherever you are. And yeah, I'm going to just try to do this more often and hopefully hopefully I'll have more interesting things to say. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.